Hey y'all, Terrence Christianson with Edad 606. This is week number 3. Actually, I'm sorry, not week number 3, but video journal number 3, week number 6. Um, Edad 606. Once again, I appreciate you all tuning in, and please excuse me. I'm going to be looking to the side here to read some of the questions, and then I'll be turning straight to the camera and answering the questions. So, thank you again for tuning in, and I'm going to get started. So the first question is really every workplace is plagued with manipulative people who use emotions to create conflict in order to cover up for their lack of substance. Has this been true of your workplace experience? If so, how did your leaders handle it, and what effect did it have on other employees? Oh gosh, yeah. So Berkeley High School is a school that has about 315 staff on site. We have about 170 teachers, and boy, do we have quite a few teachers that have just really created conflict, not only with other staff members, but with students and admin and parents. We've had situations where a teacher has confronted a parent for just not being a parent, because the parent reached out to the teacher to ask to get their students homework because they were homesick. Also, this teacher has confronted parents for keeping their students homesick. So that's just absences in general. Maybe there was a student that had broken their leg playing rugby, and they were home for 2 days, and the teacher decided to sit down and send a note to the parent letting them know that regardless of if they're hurt, they need to be in her class because there's important things going on. So it's we deal with a lot. My way of dealing with it is I've always made friends with these teachers. They trust me, and they don't really trust a lot of other people on campus. So for me is, I've become an ally with these teachers, but in turn, they're able to listen to me when I give them ideas for maybe don't do this next time, or here's some different options that we could use next time, and so there's that respect, the mutual respect with each other. But yeah, it's a tough issue to handle, and we've got a lot of those teachers on our campus. So the leaders have always handled it gracefully. There is a real messy situation with an older teacher that's tenured, and the teacher is really just going through it. Excuse me. The teacher is really just she's gone at it. This is another one that's gone at it with her students, gone at it with parents, gone at it with admin. Admin do not talk to her unless she has a lawyer present. And the admin have been very gracious in setting up appointments and taking all the notes they can, and bringing in students and listening to parents, and really just been gracious in sending out letters, letting parents know, even if parents haven't reached out, that they're aware of what's going on. They're going to be talking with the teacher. They're going to be figuring things out. They're going to be figuring some things out. And so communication lines have been open all across the board, from the teacher to the admin, to the students, the admin to parents. And this is just really going to be one of those situations that is going to be a teacher just waiting for a teacher to retire, unfortunately. So, I mean, unless something happens drastically that will force this teacher out, it's going to be one of those retirement situations. So, how can principals and school leaders ensure that communication or emotions don't create unnecessary and unproductive conflict? Once again, how can principals as school leaders ensure that communication or emotions don't create unnecessary and unproductive conflict? I mean, it's sometimes hard to tell if it's going to happen. So there's no real I'm gonna make sure that this is avoided. There are steps that you could do. I mean, you could let the rules be known from the start of the year. This is okay, and this is not okay. And regardless, we're still dealing with the grown-ups. We're still dealing with grown-ups that don't care. They're going to do things their way. They are tenured. They've been doing it for 30 years, so why change now? And so I just think it's very important that the admin hold their line, make sure these rules are updated, and just document if they need to. You know, it's one of those struggles, especially when you're dealing with tenured staff. So, for you personally as a leader, which of Myatt's tips to more effectively handle conflict in the workplace will you find the easiest, and which the most uncomfortable for you to enact, and why? I said easy for me would be to hit the conflict on the head. That's just what I do as a counselor. I've worked in Oakland Unified where hitting conflict on the head had to be done because this was actually a matter of life and death. So me speaking with these students and giving them the message very, very clear, it was a matter of life and death. I had plenty of students that were shot and killed at the school that I was at for 4 years. And so it's just something that I've carried on throughout my career, that I just have to be that straight shooter. I do it a lot with students. I do it a lot with parents. I do it a lot with teachers and fellow coworkers, and so that's already easy for me. One thing that's not easy for me is viewing conflict as opportunity. Now I get it, and I know it. I know it's true, but I get the feel that I need to sometimes come back at conflict with not necessarily conflict, but facts, and make sure that it's known. For me, I need to really just view conflict as an opportunity for everyone to grow, and I need to figure out how to frame it and turn it and make sure that growth is happening off of it. And so that's something that I have to figure out on my own, and I look forward to coming up with methods on how to do it. And I feel like I do practice this quite often, but I think just in my head I'm thinking, if there's conflict, let me let them know. And so I need to change that. I need to change that mentality. I will change that mentality. I'm coming up with ways to change that mentality, and I will be practicing that as this year comes upon us. So, signing off. Thank you all for listening to my video. Have a good night.